Dear friends, this is Srinivasan, who is having more than 30 years experiences in the construction industry, giving a small presentation on foundations and its types. Foundation is one of the essential part of the structure. It is a part of the structure that transfers the load from the superstructure constructed on it. Foundation is part of a structure which the building stands. The strong ground on which it rests and acknowledged as a foundation bed. Foundations. Why foundation is provided? Foundation fulfill the following objectives. Distribute the weight of the structure over a large region of soil. Avoid unequal settlement. Prevent the lateral motion. Increase structural stability. Why there are different types of footings? The different type of footings has been constructed depend upon the soil conditions and the bearing capacity of the soil. Depending upon the soil profile and the load of the structure, engineers design the various type of the foundations. Type of foundations. Foundation are divided into two main categories, which is known as shallow and deep foundation. If the width of the foundation is larger than the depth, it is known as a shallow foundation. If the width is smaller than the depth of the foundation, it is known as a deep foundation. Type of shallow foundations. Isolated spread footing, for which the image has been shown adjoiningly. This is the most simple and economical type of the foundation. They are usually utilized for shallow establishment to bring concentrated burdens cost. For instance, by using a pillars or columns, they are typically used for a normal structure, that is typically up to 5 to 7 floors. Isolated footings. Separated balance legitimately at the basement of the section. They clearly move the heaps from the section of the soil. It may be rectangle, square, trapezoidal, circle, whatever the shape it might be. It can contain both fortified and non-strengthened materials. For the non-strengthened balance, nonetheless, the height of the balance must be increasingly conspicuous to give the fundamental spreading of the heap. They are to be potentially used when no constraining settlements will occur under the entire structure. Spread footings are prohibited for the direction of numerous burden. The sizes and the balance can be determined by the admissible bearing limit of the soil. The following are the sorts of the spread balance. Single cushion balance, ventured balance for a column, sloped balance for a column, wall balance without a step. Ventured balance for walls, grille settlement. To choose how to utilize the shallow establishment, it is important to know it's conservative, it's prudent when the heap of the structure is generally low. Wall footings are as tree footings. Wall footing is also known as a continuous footings. The type used to distribute the load of structural or non-structural load-bearing walls to the ground in such a way that the load-bearing limit of the soil isn't outperformed. It runs along the direction of the wall. The width of the wall foundation usually 2 to 3 times of the width of the wall. The foundation of the wall footing has been shown as below. The wall footing is a non-stop strip alongside the sides of the wall. Stone, bricks, reinforcement concreting anything can be used for this type of a foundations. On account of block walls, the footing contains few guides of bricks. On account of stationary walls, the counterbalance ought to be 15 centimeter with the status of the root to as 30 centimeters. Along these lines, the size of the footings is marginally greater than that of the block divider footings. If the heap of the wall is enormous, soil is low bearing capacity, This bolstered concreting foundation kind can be provided. Wall footing is low cost when loads to be transmitted are small magnitude, positioned on a dense sand and a gravel. Combined footings. This is the typical image of the combined footings. The combined footings is very comparable to the isolated footings. Combined footing is provided when the bearing potential of the soil is low. It is a special footing which balances a single footing dependent on the necessity of the structure. The foundations which are more than one column are referred as combined footings. These types footings are slab type, slab and beam type, rectangular, raft and strap beam type. Combined foundation are financial when the columns are placed close to each other. When the column is close and pass through the property line or grow to be eccentric. Dimension of one-off aspect of the footing are confined. Cantilever or strap footing. This is an image which shows how the cantilever footings are being constructed. Strap footings are similar to blended footings. In strap footing, the foundation underneath the column is connected by means of a strap beams. When the area of the footing can't go beyond the property line, the exterior footing is connected by way of a strap beam to the inner side of the footing. Raft or a mat foundation. Raft or a mat foundations are used when other shallow and pile foundation are not suitable. It is recommended where the bearing capacity of the soil is inadequate. Raft foundation consists of a reinforced concreting slab or a T-beam slab placed over the entire area of the structure. In this type, the whole basement floor slab acts as a foundation. The total load of the structure is spread evenly over the entire raft of the structure. Raft foundation is economical when the soils are weak and the load has to be spread over a large area. The structure includes a basement. Columns are closely placed. Other kinds of foundation are not feasible. Differential settlement is to be prevented. Image of the raft foundation has been shown below. Pile foundation. Pile is a common type of a deep foundation. They are used to reduce the cost according to the soil condition. It transmitted loads to the soil strata which are beyond the reach of the shallow foundation. The following are types of pile foundation. It can be sheet piles, tack pile, load bearing piles, end stacks, conclusion bearing piles, etc. etc. Pile is a slender member with a small cross-sectional area compared to its length. It is used to transmit foundation loads to a deeper soil or a solid rock strata. Pile spreads loads either by screen friction or a bearing. Piles are also used to resist structures against uplift and provide structures stability against the lateral forces. Pile foundations are economic when soil with great bearing capacity at a greater depth, when there is no chances of construction of irrigation canals or nearby area, when it is very expensive to provide raft or a grillage, when the foundation is subjected to heavily concentrated load or located at a marshy places. It can again be classified based on materials and the mechanism of the load transfer of the foundations. Pier foundation. Pier is an underground structure that transmits loads which cannot be carried out by way of shallow foundations. It is typically shallower than the piles. The pier base is usually utilized in the multi-story structures. Since the base location is determined with the aid of the design, the single pier load test is wiped out. This is the image of the pier foundation, consists of a pier cap, pier, pile cap and piles. Pier foundations. It is cylindrical structural member that transfer load from superstructure to soil by stop bearing. It can solely transfer load by means of bearing and through no longer force and skin frictions. Pier foundations are economical when sound rock strata underneath the decomposed rock layer at the top. Topsoil is stiff clay. When a heavy load is to be transferred to the soil. Advantages. It is a huge scope of assortment with regards to structure. They are special materials we can right here construct in a stylish way. It saves aside cash and time as it does not require large elimination or tons of cements. Bearing limits can be incremented by means of under reaming the base. Disadvantages. It can be, when published or a dock is harmed, it can immediate vital harms to the general structures. It can vitality wasteful if no longer covered approximately. Floor should be intensely, vigorously protected and shielded from crater. Thank you for watching this presentation. If you like this presentation, kindly subscribe, like and share with your friends, which will motivate me to give a further good presentation. In case of any queries, do not hesitate to write to me. Our response will be at the earliest. Contact me at the civilconclave@gmail.com or at my Telegram group, Ask Srini Telegram groups. The link has been shown below. Thank you for watching this.